Picture this. It's 1922. There's no air conditioning, no internet, and you're stuck in the Egyptian desert. You're Howard Carter. You've been digging for 5 long years, and your main hobby is, well, digging. The sun is blazing at 110 degrees, and you're probably thinking, I really hope I find something shiny soon so I can finally go home. Then suddenly, your foot hits a stone step. Congratulations, you've just stumbled upon what will become the biggest unboxing video in human history. But what came out of that golden coffin wasn't just a teenage pharaoh. It was a century of pure clickbait. Today, we're tearing down the so-called curse of Tutankhamun and every other historical lie your teachers might have told you. So, stick around, because if you don't, legend has it, Howard Carter himself will show up in your room at 3 a.m. and start an excavation under your bed. Hit that like button and subscribe for this wild ride through history. Let's get into it. First, let's meet the team behind this discovery. Our main sponsor is Lord Carnarvon. This guy was a classic example of a rich person with way too much time on their hands. Instead of, buying a yacht or something, he decided to spend his massive fortune digging up ancient graves in Egypt. That's some serious bored rich guy energy. Then we have the man on the ground, Howard Carter. Carter was like that player in an RPG who has to open every single chest and barrel on the map just in case. He was relentless. For years, Lord Carnarvon was just pouring money into this desert hole, funding Carter's obsession. The funding was flowing like water, and just as Carnarvon was about to pull the plug and tell Carter to get a real job, they hit the jackpot. Carter found the tomb. When news broke, the world's media went absolutely insane. This was the biggest archaeological discovery of the century. But there was a slight problem. The tomb was tiny. King Tutankhamun wasn't exactly a major player in ancient Egyptian history. He became pharaoh as a kid, died when he was only about 18 or 19, and didn't really accomplish much. He was basically the intern king. The press, however, needed a blockbuster story. They needed drama, suspense, and headlines that would fly off the shelves. And then they got their drama. Shortly after the tomb was opened, Lord Carnarvon died. The timing was perfect. Did a mummy spring to life and curse him? Was he hit by an ancient booby trap? The reality was far less dramatic. He got an infection from a mosquito bite that he accidentally cut while shaving. That's right, the great lord who funded the expedition was taken down by a tiny bug. But you can bet the newspapers didn't report it that way. Their headlines screamed, "The curse of the pharaoh strikes." Journalists, hungry for a sensational story, essentially invented a narrative. They claimed that an inscription was found above the tomb's entrance that read, "Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the king." Sounds terrifying, right? Spoiler alert, that inscription is completely fake. It doesn't exist. It was never there. The actual inscriptions were more along the lines of standard protective spells, basically saying things like Anubis has your back. Bro, but let's be honest, Anubis is chill with this, doesn't sell newspapers. Deadly Pharaoh's curse claims first victim does. The media latched onto this cursed narrative and ran with it. Every time someone connected to the excavation died over the next decade from natural causes, old age, or accidents, the curse was blamed. They conveniently ignored the fact that Howard Carter, the man who was first to enter the tomb and spent years cataloging its contents, lived for another 16 years and died of natural causes at age 64. Most of the other core members of the excavation team also lived long, full lives. The myth was just too good to let go. It was fueled by popular culture, movies, and books. The idea of a vengeful mummy protecting its tomb is way more exciting than the truth, which is that ancient tombs can contain harmful mold and bacteria that could make people sick, especially in an era before widespread antibiotics. The death of Lord Carnarvon, likely from an infection complicated by his already poor health, was just a tragic coincidence that happened at the perfect time for a media frenzy. So, the Curse of Tutankhamun is less about ancient magic and more about the power of a good story. It's a classic case of media hype creating a legend that has lasted for 100 years. It goes to show that if a story is juicy enough, people will believe it, even if the facts don't quite add up. The real treasure from Tutankhamun's tomb wasn't just the gold and artifacts. It was the incredible story it gave the world, even if parts of it were completely made up. What do you think is the biggest historical myth that people still believe? Drop a comment below and let me know. If you enjoyed uncovering the truth with me, hit that like button like you're breaking a phony curse, and make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss out as we continue to debunk the myths of history. Stay safe, stay curious, and maybe be a little extra careful next time you shave. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.